All right, I think it's recording. Hello, everyone. I'm back on my photography, and last night, early this morning, if you're looking at my desktop, lightning here, downtown area, this shopping complex, and right here we have a marina. So I got some lightning, and what you're looking at is two images right here, two images which I stacked. I'm going to show you how I did that with Affinity Photo. And hopefully this video will come out nice, and I'll do some more videos. Let's open up the Affinity. I have the images right here on my desktop, so I won't have to be looking through the folders. I'll talk to you a little bit about the images in the camera that I used, which camera is my Nikon 500, and I used the let me get my file here. And I use my I think it's a 10 or 12 millimeter, yeah, 10 millimeter lens at ISO at 79. And this image right here, this is the raw image. I'm in the raw developer for Affinity Photo. Liquid persona, developer persona, and that's where we're in right now. I did just almost 3 minutes. This exposure right here is almost 3 minutes, and you're gonna see some blurriness here. You got a bit of blur right here, a bit of blur right here. Uh, these are on the water. There's a bit of a wind, light rain, and these are moving. There's a sail mast right here, so you're gonna see some blur. Almost 3 minute exposure, f22 on a 10 millimeter at ISO 79. That's how I got this image, and I'm going to process this image and put it together, stack it with another one, so you're going to see how I got this, which is pretty good. This is a nice image, a lot happening here. We've got the center of attention right here. We've got buildings, city, downtown area, guitar. This is a Ferris wheel. And pretty much, when you look at this image, you want to see this, but you're also going to see this right here. You're also going to look at this right here. And I chopped off, see, I cropped it. Too much of this right here. And the streaks in the clouds, well, almost 3 minute exposure with some wind's going to give you these nice streaks. And I left some grain in it. I didn't completely knock out all the ISO out of these images. I left some grain in it. And let's get started right here. So the first thing that I do is actually I look over the image and I decide what I'm going to crop out. And there's way too much here to crop out. So let's bring this up to about right there. I'm going to try to size it up. I did this before. I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to run by it, show everybody how I did it. And we click on our little hand here, and that's what we got. We already cropped it. So we want to bring details, get some detail into all this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to basic. I'm going to go to clarity, and I'm going to bring up the clarity. Let's bring it all the way up 100%. See what happens. There you go. I'm gonna clean my. I think I already cleaned my sensor, but I'll get rid of these spots. I got a few sensor spots here. No big deal. I already cleaned my camera. So I bring up the clarity, and this is what you get. You gotta be careful bringing up clarity because it might do damage instead of good. So you want to play around with it. I got right here a streak of lightning. This nice hit right here, and this overwhelming cloud. It's really nice. But I'm not gonna leave the clarity at 100% because I also use, there's a lightning right there, and in my desktop image I have lightning here. That's in the second photo, which we'll see in a few minutes. I'm not gonna leave the clarity up 100% because a picture like this, I also work with detail. So I'm gonna bring this up to about 38, clarity 38, and leave it at that. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to detail, refinement, bring the radius up to 100. And this is what happens if I give it detail. It just really shots it, kills it. So you can see too much detail just ruined the image. But it brings out the lightning. It brings out the veins and the lightning. Nice. So bring this back down to about 32%. And that's going to give me a clean image. It's going to give me some detail. It's going to bring out the dust bunnies. I think that's what a lot of people call them, dust bunnies on the sensor, which I already cleaned. I said that already. And we're looking at over here. We're looking good. Looking good. And that's my second move right there. I'm not going to play around with the noise right now. I don't want to do noise. I'm going to go back to tones, lens. Let me see. I'm looking for, and I'm going to do one. I'm going to do in the raw developer here, I have the option to do chromatic aberration and diffringe. I think I'm going to do some diffringe right here. Clear this up right here, the veins, which it already did. It cleared up the guitar over here. It already did that. I saw that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my white balance, which is under basic right here. And I want to get rid of some of the blue. A lot of blue in here, especially here in this area. I want to get rid of some blue. So it's at 4084, I believe. I'm gonna bring it up just so you see what happens. This is what happens, and you can play around with this. You have Affinity Photo. Knock yourself out getting all these crazy colors and tones. Hit the recycle right there, and it brings it back to according to the image that was processed. It brings it back at that tone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up just to kill some of that blue right there. I want to kill some of that blue right there, bring out the white in this cloud, kill the blue over here a bit, and then we look at before and after. That's what I had before. That's what I have now. So I cleaned it up a bit. I got some detail in this area right here. Brought out the palm leaves, cloud, so you can see. I want more detail, but I'm not going to push that right now. Not until I get the other image done. So I got clarity. I'm not going to play around with the tones, exposure, black point, brightness. All this, you play around with it. Of course, according to my liking is how I'm developing this image. You have your own images, you could develop them, and you can go, hot or cold with these tones. Go crazy with them. I like this right now the way it is. because I want to work with the other image. And when I feel I'm satisfied with this one, I'm going to go ahead and develop it. I want to make sure I got everything here. Not too much I'm doing to this image. The exposure, I'm going to leave the exposure alone. That's my exposure right there. I'll leave that alone. What I'm focusing on is this right here and this right here. I'll play around with this later. Right now everything's looking pretty good. So you want to be careful when you're doing images with clouds and you have lightning and you have lights and it's a long exposure. Use the clarity to bring out detail in the clouds and the lightning, but be careful using it. It could ruin the image. Like I said, I only went 38%. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to develop this image because I'm going to stack another image on top of this one. And this is pretty much good right here. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get rid of these little dust bunnies here from the sensors. I'm going to get rid of them real quick. I'm waiting for my image to fully develop, and I'm out of the raw developer. The develop persona. We could always go back into it, but I don't need to. So right here, my tools. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna grab some of these bunnies. Dust. Oh shit. Didn't mean to do that. Right here. Let me get rid of this right there. And I'm going to get rid of this one right here. Get rid of this one right here. Right here we have one. And I think that's all we have. Like I said, I did this before. I've done this before. I'm just going through it again. Just want to show everybody how I got that image. Alright, let me go back to controlling my image here. Now, I could do chromatic. Go up here to filters, colors, chromatic aberration. Try to tighten up on this right here. And these colors tighten. Yep, it did some good. And that's pretty much for that. And then let's look at our lightning. Our lightning's looking pretty good. The veins are pretty clear. No difference there. The clouds are looking nice. There's a slight little lightning vein right there, which I like. I'm not going to play around with the noise. I'm going to leave the noise as is. I'm going to leave some grain in this image. And building's looking pretty good. Like I said, this is an almost 3-minute exposure according to the EXIF file. And so I'm going to stack another image on top of this one. I'm going to see if I can cut back a blue on the blue a little bit over here, even though I like this tone right here. This blue represents the flash from the lightning. Actually, that's what it is. All this is flash from the lightning. And then, as you can see, this huge cloud rolling in. There's no blue flash here. So actually, I'm going to leave this like this. Not much I'm doing to this. I am going to tweak this by giving it a unsharp mask. I'm going to go one hit on it. I have it set for 1.9 pixels, 0.5 factor. Threshold is at 0. That's pretty much how I have it set up. And that's before and this is after. Before and this is after. So I cleaned this up a bit. and that's my target right there. That's my target right there. So I cleaned that up a bit, and I'm not pushing it. So I'm going to take that, and then I'm just going to flatten this image for whatever it's worth. Flatten it. Wait till it gets done. And I'm going to save this, and I'm going to call this stack 1. I'm going to name it, save it, stack 1. Go here to process, export. Bilinear JPEG quality 100%, 16, just over just almost 17 megabytes. That's fine. Doesn't matter. And I'm going to call this image stack 1. Save it. Alright, so let's open the second image, which would be this one right here. And this is your second image right here. And the same, 79 ISO, f22, 189 seconds, almost 3, just a little bit over 3 minutes. And this is a manual lens, by the way. It's on a D500, my Nikon D500, 14 millimeter. It shows up as focal length is 10 millimeter. It's a 14 millimeter at 2.814. So this image here, let's crop. Try to get it more or less the same as the other one. Yes, thank you. And then right here, let's go to clarity, bring this up. Here's my lightning strike right there. So these two images, I'm going to stack them together. I chose these two because one lightning hit is here and the other one is here. So when we get done, this is what we have. And it worked out. I like it. So we got it cropped. Let me take my clarity up to 38 right there, and look at the difference right here. That's before, and that's after the clarity. Before and after. This is what clarity does. Clouds and lightning. I do a lot of night photography, but you don't want to push the clarity because it could hurt the image. And I use detail. So that's what clarity does. I mean, if this was a daytime image, these clouds right here would be like these puffy, huge white clouds. I would bump this clarity all the way up to 100 because it would show so much detail in those clouds. But nighttime with lightning and all these lights around, a long exposure, you want to be careful how hard you bring that clarity up. So let's do that. Let's go to details, and let's go to detail and bring the radius up 100. And just so you can see, before bring it up to 100, this is what happens. This is what happens. You overwhelm the image with detail, and you like make it look like crap. So let me bring this detail up to about 20%. Let me see, look at that. Nice, right here, see? This blue is overwhelming. A little bit too much detail. You can see the edges and the lights. A little bit too much detail. And I have it at 20. But this looks nice right here. This looks nice. I like this because this is part of the image. Now in this image here, because it's a lot darker than the other, I'm probably going to play around with that. But here's the little bitty crack of lightning I spoke about earlier, right here. And this is tricky because this falls between diffringement and chromatic aberration. So let's go to lens and do defringe. And that cleared up the guitar a bit, but not that little bit of lightning right there. So let me play around with it. So I think I'm going to leave it at that right there. And I'm going to throw some chromatic aberration right here, see if I can clean this up, this corner right here. We'll see what happens. We'll let it do its thing there. Didn't do much. Well, that did. But I'm gonna work with this when I get it out of. But so far, I'm gonna leave it like this. Now you want to be careful. This is neon red. You want to be careful you don't using the defringe throw the red out of whack. This neon light right here, which is really neat. So we're gonna leave this like that right now, and let me go to my white balance right here. Where's my white balance? Right there. And I'm gonna try to clean this image up a bit. That's too much. There you go. All right. And I'm going to come over here to black point, play around with this, see what happens. See? Bring it up, lighten it up a bit. Bring detail out in these clouds. This cloud right here. Bring detail out in this right here. And I think black point at -4. I don't have to play around with the brightness. See, by bringing up brightness will overwhelm this image a bit, and I need it to blend in with the other one, which is going to. So I think I'm going to try 6% plus on brightness and black point -4. And that is giving me nice clean image. Nice hit right there. Dust ball right there, bunny, whatever. I'll take care of that now. And I think that's it. That's all I'm going to do with this. My detail is at 20%. So far, no noise. I'm going to leave the noise in there. It's not that bad. A little bit of grain. It's not that bad at all. So let's develop this image. And then I'm going to work on that guitar, that little bitty strike right here. See if I can clean this up right here. I'm going to go, I'm going to filter the diffringe bit right there. Diffringe right here. Moving on it. So tolerance, you can move the slider on these tolerance, and right there I got it. It's a bit better, but I gotta be careful with these. See what the tolerance does? Gotta be careful moving the tolerance. See what it does? you lose these little red lights, and I want those red lights in there. So you see, I'm trying to clean this up a bit right here. So let's try this layer, new live layer, colors, difference, and we'll use the target. Place your target mouse over the area that you want to tighten up on, and it will automatically jump this on the slider. There you go. That worked a bit. Let me look at my I want this, I don't want to lose the red light up here. See right there, that corner, how I lost it? See how? It's kind of tricky. Kind of tricky. You can always reset. And you can always call it a sacrifice and leave it alone and not do anything. Yep. So I'll leave that like that. Let me see. So let's come over here and do the in-painting brush tool. Make sure we're snapped into our picture there. And get rid of that little orb there. Dust bunny. There's one right here. There's one right there. So if you're wondering why my camera is out of focus, it's because I'm camera shy. And I don't really know who's watching, other than obvious who's watching the video. But when my webcam is not on, or I'm not using it, it's always taped over, just in case somebody's watching. I'm paranoid like that. Alright, this is good. I like it. I want to stack it. I got the green out of the palm leaves. What was it? Darker image before. Now it's lighting up. We can see the little crack of lightning there over the guitar. That's fine. So one more thing that I'm going to do to this image is I'm going to go give it an unsharp mask. Yes. See what it looks like. Not too much of a difference there, just a slight difference. So I'm going to try looking at clarity. Wow, look at that. I have my clarity set at 100. I don't think I should give it 100 clarity, but I like what happened here. It really hasn't damaged the image a lot. What this clarity does, it brings out the grain in the image, as you can see. Let me undo the clarity. Let me go back into it again. and we'll do clarity. There you go. And this is what you have. 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 So I'm going to cut back on the clarity. Half, 50. And that's pretty good. And that's pretty good. Yeah. That's pretty good. Okay. Because you give it too much clarity. Let's apply that. You give it too much clarity and you get close in. Now I cut back on the grain. I cut back on that grain. I don't really want to. When I stack these images, I might bring down the noise. But when you stack the images, the process of stacking the images automatically cuts back on noise. That's why I'm not touching the noise right now. So let's not make this any longer. Let's flatten this thing. There you go. And we'll save this and call it stack 2. Now let's export it. And we'll call it stack 2. Right? Alright. So now we have stack 1. And we have stack 2. Right? 1 and 2. Alright? And you can see a seriously dramatic tone right here. And this image right here. But we're going to put these together now. And we'll go to File, New Stack. Right here. File, New Stack. And open up the window and add. And we're going to add stack 1. And we're going to add stack 2. And they're stacked. Automatically align images, perspective, and that's how we're going to leave that. We're not going to do live alignment. And we're going to do OK. And it's processing up here, and that's what we got. Wow, look at that. Just stack the 2 images right there. Take a look at it. See how everything blended in? Everything blended in. Nice clarity over here. Nice. The red, the neon light on the 51 building. That's called the Biscayne 51 building. I'm familiar with it. It's got a real cool Art Deco design up on top. Remember, this is 2 images of just over 3-minute exposures. Wide angle, 10mm f/22, and 2 different lightning strikes on a tripod, of course. And let's look at our little right there. And here's focus point. And this happens right here because the 2 images blended together. And I don't always get this effect. That's why I use these 2 images, because these 2 images, sometimes I'll stack 3 or 4 images and one of the images will actually cover, and I'll have to eliminate that one and play around with it. These 2 just happen to fall in good, no issues. Worked with the color, and you have all this drama going on right here, which is pretty nice. It's not the best tremendous looking image or you know, outrageously looking lightning, but you get lightning right here. You get lightning right here. Center of the image, which is pretty cool. That's what we got right there. And that's what we have right here. And that's what they both look like together. So I actually lost all this cloud detail right here. See? I lost it all right here. But it worked out nice. I like it. It's a nice image. Right now, I can go over here and go to HSL and try to cut back on this blue right here just a bit. Play around with it. See that? And when you cut back on blue, your pink shows up. See that? So when you work with these sliders in HSL mode, you always got to follow up. I'll show you. Let's go 53% on the blue, and then we'll go 20% on the pink. Look how the image got cleaned up. Real nice. Whilst keeping colors down here at a very nice moderate level. I believe we cut back on some glare, or it gives you the idea that we did. And that's all by bringing down our blue 53%, pink 65%. It gave us this right here. Now, there you go. There you go. Palm trees. Lightning, lightning, lightning. As a matter of fact, I like this tone. It's a soft, appealing, stormy looking, natural. I like it. I even like it. It looks better. It looks good right there. I think I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep this. You close that. You're here. Now, here's what you want to do. If you want to, you can play around with your clarity. See if you can bring some detail out in this cloud right here. And just for the fun, look what I'm doing. Wow. This is 50% clarity. Look at the difference. After you stack the two images, you can still work with the image and get more fun and detail out of it. See that? This is what I'm looking at right here at 50% clarity. I don't want to ridiculously bring it up because too much could damage the image. And this is what I mean. This is 100. Actually, it doesn't look that bad, but when you look into and you get to the image, you see that grain, that canvas type looking grain. See what I mean? I think that's damaging, and I don't want to. There you go. See? Bring it back up to 50%. You see? I got to get rid of that right there. I don't want to damage the image. And your lightning is looking good. Let me apply that. So I'm going to get rid of this dust bunny right here. There you go. See that? It's a nice looking image. Well, I like it. You may not, or you may, but when you take these shots and you take these images and you put them together, you can do whatever you want to with them to your liking. This is a pretty nice, clean image. Not too much drama going in, except this right here. I like the tone. The cloud, the streak right here is because of the exposure time. I've got not too much overpowering exposure time on this rooftop right here. I can see some of the Art Deco work, coloring right there. Overall, I think it's a pretty nice looking image for lightning. It's cool, you know. You got the reflection right here in the water, right here. And there's another little orb right there. Dust bunny. Whatever. Gone. Right here, Affinity Photo. Does it for you, yes. Now you can play around with the tones. I pretty much like this image, but you know, if you want to, you can go dark, brighter, always darker for this, looks nice. Contrast won't do anything for this image. I don't want to, that looks really neat, but I'm killing the palm leaves right here, the water. So I want to keep these palm leaves green. That's their color. I want to keep them that way. And you want to go darker. You can go a bit darker. And you still keep green in the palm leaves. Now let me show you something cool. I'm going to reset this because I like this image. Let me show you something cool you can do this image. Go over here to filters, blur, depth of field, and you could do this, play around with this if you like, you know. You open this up a bit right here. Yep. And clarity, bring it up to about 9, because that clarity is right here. And we're gonna, our depth of field effect is gonna be out here. So we bring the radius up to like 5.7. You can see the difference already right here. There you go. It's before, it's after. That's 5.7. Let's bring it up to 7, 8, 10.3. And there it is right there. See? Depth of field. So you get this blur around the image. You get this blur around the image. See that? So you give it this blur, and what that does is it focuses the attention here. That's too much depth of field, but I just wanted to show you what it does. It focuses the attention here, the image. Right there. And you can naturally do this with a lens. Of course, 5.6, 4.5, 5.6, even 7.1 on a long lens will give you a depth of field. I can always undo it like this. Go back on my slider here. Or I can come over here and do undo current selection. So you can do that. So that's what happens. You stack the two images, one lightning here, one lightning here. Everything else is looking pretty good. Long exposure image, not the greatest looking thing. It's overpowering here in the lights, over here in this building, the structure, the lights here. But that's to be expected. That's why I run f/22, because there was too many lights here. Too many lights here, and I wanted to make sure I catch multiple lightning strikes. And out of all the images that I took, I've only processed these two. I'll process the other ones at some other time. I wanted to put these two together because of this right here. This is pretty nice. So what you do is, when you're done, you flatten it, and you flatten your image. Affinity Photo is saving the history of everything that I did. I have it to save history with document. Not all documents. This one I'm saving it. But then I remember what I did, so I can go back and do it again. And this is what you got. From this and from this, we got this. Now, a lot of people I've seen on YouTube take Affinity Photo and stack images, and I believe I've seen them stack raw images, and the stacking process will eliminate noise, cut back on it. So I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm going to process the images one by one, do what I'm going to do to them, and then I'm going to stack them, and then I'm going to tweak them. And this is what I just did. I tweaked these images, you know. And we can turn this to black and white so easy. Right here, black and white, black and white. Then we have a really nice black and white photo of lightning. And there's the grain that I spoke about. You can see it in the clouds. That's a combination of clarity and detailing. So this image right here will be really a real nice for a gloss canvas. You can put this image on a gloss, on a canvas, semi-gloss, and this will be black and white. This will look really nice. Of course, black and white, we lost the red here, but the red and all the lights. But by the way, over here in this window, just uncheck it, and you get back to where you have it. If I want to check it, that's my black and white. Pretty nice. Affinity Photo. It works for me. I like it. So that's what I did with my two lightning photos. I stacked them, I cleaned them up. This is what we got. I can do so much, but I'm making this video. I haven't done a video for almost 8 months, and I just play around with this stuff because photography is my hobby. I got so many hobbies. Sometimes one overpowers the other, and I got to get back on the other then. Nice lens right here, 10mm. This 14mm Rokinon lens that I'm using. Look at the clarity through this window, up in this loft area right here. Nice. Look at the chairs up here, stacked up here. Pretty nice lens. This lens is what I use for stellar photography, Milky Way, lightning, manual. It's a pretty nice lens. Good detail. All right. I hope you like this. I'll try to put out more videos if I get positive feedback on this. If not, I don't do pretty much anything, just anything to keep me from being bored. So, Hope you liked the video. Affinity Photo. Let me flatten this. I'm gonna keep this. I like this image. And let's do this. Export it at 15.10 megabytes. I don't care. It's untitled 1. Save it. Saved. Let's do this. Here's the one that I processed earlier. And this is the one that we just did now. Look at that. Pretty nice. I like it. You can make your own images. It's your photography. You can do what you want to. Nobody can tell you what to do or what not to do. They're your images. Here's a nice. I got this about 2 years ago. Breaking dawn. Right here. It's like 7:15 in the morning. Opposite side to where I got the image that we just processed. This is really nice lighting right there. Same lens, same camera. No, this is on a 7200. This is on my D7200. That's the actual image right there. Color. Really nice. Black and white. That's back to us right here. This one's got depth of field. I did earlier with depth of field. Same image. And this is some crazy ass lightning I did about 3 years ago. Right here. There you go. This is the Windows photo viewer, by the way, so it's a bit slow. And but that's a real nice hit right there. I would do a video on this, on how I process this. I gotta go back in there and look, but I like lightning. I like it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to same storm, same night, same camera, same lens, different lightning right there. I tried stacking these two images, this one and this one, but I moved the camera. Something I shouldn't have done. I moved the camera. And you're not going to believe this, but this is a cell phone image of about 5 years ago. A storm behind the city downtown area and all these flashlights and everything. This is a cell phone image. Believe it or not. It's pretty unique. Samsung. I couldn't get rid of it because it's so unique looking. So anyway, all these are cell phone images. Years ago. Look at this. There's so much lightning that night. It was about 5 years ago, 5 to 6 years ago. Lighting up the whole area. So I got these crazy images. Look at that. Wow. It's a lightning strike right there. Little lightning vein right there. These are old images. Alright, anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching Affinity Photo. I will process these images, but I cannot stack them on Capture NXD, which is, Capture NXD is the Nikon software that everybody that has a Nikon should be using. And I use Affinity Photo for what I cannot do with this program. This program's awesome, but I wanted to process these two stacks, I had to process them on Affinity Photo. It's the only way that I can get them. So let me look right here. Lightning, lightning, and lightning. And this is what my image looks on Capture NXT, which is the #1 software for Nikon photography. Anybody has a Nikon camera, you should be using this to process your images. I do. I use this to process all my images. I have Affinity Photo because there are certain things that I cannot do here that I can do with Affinity Photo. And Nikon said that little by little they will move up to, but they're not into the trickery, the photo manipulation part of the software. They stick to the basics, and that's where their strongest point is with this this software that they use, which is pretty nice. Let me look at something here. Let me show you guys something. This little red thing right here. See how I cleaned it up a bit? And let me try the actual color aberration. And this is Capture NXT working the image, the file, which is a Nikon file, and this is Nikon software, so everything works out, it balances out. It may not be that. There you go. See how he's cleaned it up? See that? This is why everyone should be using Nikon software, Capture NXT, for Nikon photography, because it is so forgiving. Look at that. It is so forgiving. It's amazing. Affinity Photo, Photoshop, Capture One, all those software, they're good. A lot of trickery. They're nice, but they don't do what this Capture NXT does, because this is actual software for Nikon photography. That's why I use this. Yeah, I cleaned it up. It killed the red. It killed the red in my light here. And if you haven't noticed, it killed the yellow in my lights. So I just unchecked lateral color aberration, and it will slowly, gradually bring my red back in. See? Starting to bring it back in. So this is good software, but I chose Affinity Photo over anything else because Affinity Photo does so much. It's a cool program. Anyway, alright, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. I'm going to shut this down, and ask me any questions, type them in, I'll answer them best I could. Anything on my cameras, I'll answer them. The lens, I'll answer them. And I'll be processing more images depending on the feedback that I get. See if it's worth it for me to do videos or not. I don't know. All right. Let me say good night and turn this off. And somewhere up here should be the Bandicam thing. Should come. There it is. I haven't used Bandicam for a while. I had to update it, and finally it worked. So there it is. All right. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.